All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another day of online learning with Mr. Frost. Today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over that last assignment that I gave y'all from Friday. So that assignment, once more, was going to be page 610, and that was 1 through 6, number 8, and then 13 through 18. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to go over those problems. I won't give you any homework today. We're just going to go over this lesson. The next slide in this lesson, what I'm going to have is I'm going to have a little section for you to input how many problems you got wrong. So that's all you'll have to do. You're going to go problem by problem. I'm going to work them out. You're going to see if you got it correct or not. And then in the question of the next slide, you're going to tell me how many you got wrong, and then I'm going to take that and I'm going to input a grade for you on Jupyter. So that's how we're going to do it. So once more, we're just simply going to go over all the problems. There won't be any homework tonight. I'll do a new lesson for you tomorrow, and I'll give you homework from that lesson. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started with this. And we're starting, let's see here, with number 1. So let me change my color again so we don't get lost along the way. Here's number 1, and go back to black. And here we go. So this was y equals x plus 1 and y equals 2x minus 1. Okay, remember, once more, we're doing the substitution method. To do the substitution method, you substitute what you know in for the variable. So we know, for instance, that in the second variable, y equals 2x minus 1. All we're going to do is substitute that in right there for that y variable and solve the problem. So now it's going to read 2x minus 1 equals x plus 1. Now we're going to be able to solve. We want to get the variable on one side of the equation, so I'm going to do minus x minus x. What remains now? 2x minus x, that gives me x minus 1 equals 1. Okay, start on the side of the variable. Move the number without the variable by performing the opposite operation. Not 2, sorry. We're going to do plus 1, plus 1. Those guys go away. X equals positive 2. Now that I know what x equals, we're going to substitute the 2 back in for either one of my variables. I'm going to choose to use the very first equation of y equals x plus 1. Well, now that I know what x equals, we just substitute it in for x. So watch. Y now equals 2 plus 1. So y equals 3. Remember, I told you that you're always going to write this as an ordered pair. So your final answer is going to be in x, y format. So your final answer to the equation is going to be x of 2 and a y of 3. There we go. So there's your final answer right there, 2, 3. All right, moving on to number 2 now. All right, so number 2 was y equals negative 2x plus 3, and let's see here, y equals 5x minus 4. Once more, you need to substitute in what you know for y. So in this case, I'm going to substitute 5x minus 4 into that y portion right there. So I'm going to do that down here. I'm going to say that 5x minus 4 equals negative 2x plus 3. Again, I like to keep my variable positive. To keep my variable positive, I'm going to move this negative 2x by adding 2x, adding 2x. Those guys go away. 5x plus 2x gives me 7x minus 4 equals positive 3. All right. Start on the side with the variable, move the number without the variable by performing the opposite operation. We were subtracting 4, so the opposite is going to be add 4, add 4. 7x equals 7. do the opposite operation. 7 and x are being multiplied, so I do the opposite of divide by 7, therefore x equals 1. Now that I know what x is, take that value and substitute it back in for either equation. So let's see here. Let's go back to the equations. We have, let's see here, y equals 5x minus 4 or y equals negative 2x minus, or sorry, negative 2x plus 3. I'm going to choose the second equation of y equals 5x minus 4. I'm just going to substitute that 1 in there. So now y equals 5 times 1 minus 4. Y equals 5 minus 4. Therefore, y equals 1. All right, remember, you have to write it as an ordered pair. So that ordered pair is always going to be an x, y ordered pair. So my final answer in this one is going to be 1, 1, 1. All right, that's number 2. Let's move on. Let's see here, number 3 now. All right, number 3, this was y equals 3x minus 5 and y equals 6x, there we go, plus 7. Once more, substitute what you know y is in for one of the variables of either equation. So I'm going to rewrite this as 6x plus 7, because that's what y is, equals 3x minus 5. Once more, I like to keep my variable positive, so to do that, I'm going to move the 3x. This is a positive 3x. The opposite of a positive 3x is going to be subtract 3x. Subtract 3x. 6x minus 3x gives me 3x plus 7 equals negative 5. We have to move the 7. We move the 7 by performing the opposite operation, minus 7, minus 7. This might be where some of you got a little messed up, okay? 3x equals, keep, switch, change. Keep the negative 5, switch the subtraction to addition. So keep, switch, and then change that right there. Negative 12. Divide by 3, therefore x equals, let's see here, negative 4. We have one negative. If I have one negative, I have an odd amount of negatives, therefore I have a negative answer. Okay, you substitute the negative 4 in for either equation. I'm going to choose to do the first equation. Y equals 3x minus 5. And we'll just double check to make sure that's correct. Y equals 3x minus 5. Good. Now I'm going to substitute my negative 4 in for x. Y equals 3 times negative 4 minus 5. And again, you could substitute it into either equation. I just chose the first one. So y equals negative 12 minus 5. All right, careful if you're negative once more. Keep, switch, change. Negative 12 plus negative 5 equals negative 17. So your final answer is always going to be an XY format, and that should have been, therefore, negative 4 and negative 17 as your final answer. All right, moving on to our next problem. We're on problem number 4 now. And that's going to be y equals 6x minus 12 and y equals negative 9x plus 3. Okay, substitute either equation in for y. It doesn't matter. When I rewrite this, I'm going to write it as negative 9x plus 3 equals 6x minus 12. I want my variable to remain positive. To do that, I'm going to move the negative 9x. It's a negative 9x. The only way to move it is therefore to cancel it out with a positive 9x. That allows these guys to go away. Bring that 3 straight down. 6x plus 9x is 15x. minus 12. Okay, we start on this side with the variable, move the number without the variable by performing opposite operation. I'm subtracting 12, therefore to move it, I'm going to add 12 and add 12. By doing so, I end up with 15 equals 15x, and then I have to get my x variable by itself, so I divide by 15, divide by 15. 15 divided by 15 gives me 1, so 1 equals x. That'll make it easy to solve. I then take this 1 and I plug it into either one of my equations. So let's go back up and look at that. I don't want to deal with the negative right there, so I'm going to choose y equals 6x minus 12. Y equals 6x minus 12. Again, you can choose either or. I just didn't want to deal with that negative. So we substitute 1 in for x now. Y therefore equals 6 minus 12. All right, 6 minus 12. That's a smaller number trying to subtract a larger number. Keep, switch, change. That's 6 plus negative 12. Therefore, when signs are different, we subtract, take the sign of the larger integer. So you have y equals negative 6. Don't forget to write this as an ordered pair. An ordered pair is always x, y. So that's going to be 1, negative 6 as your final answer. 1, negative 6. All right, moving on now to the next problem. Number 5. All right, number 5 reads y equals 5x plus 7 and y equals negative 3x plus 7. All right, yeah, I did write that correctly. Okay, substitute either one in for y. Doesn't matter how you choose to do it. I'm going to write it as negative 3x plus 7 equals 5x plus 7. All right, I like my variable to remain positive. To do that, I'm going to move the negative 3x by adding 3x and adding 3x. What remains now is 7 equals 5x plus 3x. That's 8x plus 7. Start on the side with the variable, move the number without the variable by performing the opposite operation. So that's going to be the 7 right here. We're adding 7. Opposite is going to be subtract 7. So now I have 0 equals 8x. All right, we aren't done yet. You have to get x by itself. Opposite is therefore to divide. Divide. Okay, 0 divided by 8 simply equals 0. I'll show you that right here. That's 8 into 0. How many times does 8 go into 0? You're asking yourself, what number times 8 will give me 0? Well, 8 times 0 gives me 0. So that's why x equals 0. So there's your final answer for x. Whenever x is 0, this is going to make the next equation really easy. You just simply plug, sorry, I wrote a line there, I didn't mean to. You simply plug in 0 for the x term. I'm going to choose the very first equation, y equals 5x plus 7. So y equals 5x plus 7. Substitute 0 in for x. Y equals 5 times 0 plus 7. Well, anything times 0 is simply 0. So y equals 0 plus 7. So y equals 7. Your ordered pair, therefore, would be 0, 7. Once more, remember, ordered pairs are always x, y. So this is your final answer right here, 0, 7 for number 5. Okay, moving on, we have number 6 now. And if you remember, I gave you a little hint about number 6 at the end of the last video of your last lesson. So y equals 3x plus 5 and y equals 3x minus 10, okay? Again, substitute either one in for y. I'm going to write it as 3x minus 10 equals 3x plus 5. All right, I have to get the variable on one side. This right here is a positive 3x. So to move it, we do minus 3x, minus 3x. Those go away, that goes away. I'm left with negative 10 equals 3x minus 3x is 0x. 0 times x is simply 0, so we don't even need to write it. So those go away, and what remains is 5. All right, wait a minute. Does negative 10 equal 5? No, that's not a true statement. If it's not a true statement, we get no solution. No solution. I don't know why that's there. Uh-oh. We don't want to do that. There we go. Just leave it be. No solution would be your answer. Wait a minute. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I hit this little squiggly thing, I think. We want to hit that. There we go. All right. No solution would be your final answer for number 6. All right. After number 6, let me check. We jump down to number 8. So number 8 now. Let's see here. Number 8 looks like this. X plus y equals 20 and x equals y minus 4. All right, so this is a little different than what we've seen so far. If you notice in this case, you are given what x equals. You're told that x equals y minus 4. So take this right here and substitute it in for x. So when I do that, what you'll end up with is substitute y minus 4 in for x. Y minus 4 plus y equals 20. So let's solve the left side of the equation. We have a y term and a y term. Now it's not written, but it's understood that each of these has a coefficient of 1. So 1y plus 1y, I'm left with 2y minus 4 equals 20. Again, start on the side with the variable. Move the number without the variable by performing the opposite operation. So plus 4, 2y equals 24. Solve for y by doing the opposite operation once more. So therefore y equals 12, because 2 goes into 24 12 times. Now once you know what y is, you take that answer and you substitute it back into either of your equations. Now you're told that x equals y minus 4. So why don't we substitute y in for this equation right here. X equals y minus 4. So x equals y minus 4. Substitute 12 in for y, and you get x equals 12 minus 4. Therefore, x equals 8. And now we have our ordered pair of 8, 12. Because remember, ordered pairs are always x, y. That's a bad y. There we go. All right, after number 8, we did 13 through 18. So those will be the next set of problems coming your way. So number 13 now. All right, 13 is y equals negative 2x minus 1 and y equals 2x plus 3. So these are more similar to the ones we were working before. Substitute either equation in for y. So I'm going to choose to do 2x plus 3 equals negative 2x minus 1. I want my variable to remain positive, so I'm going to move the 2x on the right side by adding 2x, adding 2x. I'm left with 4x plus 3 equals negative 1. All right, I have to move the 3 next by doing minus 3, minus 3. Do not make a mistake on the left side here. Keep, switch, change. Keep, switch, change. So it becomes 4x equals negative 4. When I divide by 4, I have one negative. 1 is an odd number. Odd amount of negatives. Negative answer. X equals negative 1. So now we substitute negative 1 into either equation. Let's choose the second equation. Y equals 2x plus 3. Simply so we don't have to deal with that negative. Y equals 2x plus 3. Substitute negative 1 in. So y equals 2 times negative 1 plus 3. 2 times negative 1, y equals negative 2 plus 3. Signs are different. When signs are different, you subtract. Take the sign of the larger integer. Y equals positive 1. So x is -1, y is +1. My final answer should be -1, 1. Once more, they're always xy. All right, that was number 13. Moving on to number 14 now. Okay, 14. Y equals 3x plus 6, and y equals x plus 2. All right, substitute either equation in for y. When I rewrite this, I'm going to write x plus 2 equals 3x plus 6. I like to move my variable first. To do that, I'm going to move this x term. It's a positive x. To move it, therefore, we subtract x. And once more, that allows my variable to remain positive. Bring that 2 down. 2 equals 3x minus x, 2x, plus 6. This x right here, I'll circle it. It really has a coefficient of 1. It's just not written, okay? It's understood. That's why 3x minus x gives me 2x. All right. Now we start on the right side because that's the side with the variable, and I move the number without the variable by doing the opposite operation. All right, those go away. 2 minus 6, signs are different, so I subtract, take the sign of the larger integer, it gives me -4 equals 2x. I have to get x by itself, so I divide by 2, I have one negative, one is odd amount of negatives. I get a negative answer of -2. So x is -2, and I take that, I substitute it into either one of my equations. I'll choose this second equation. Y equals, all right, forgot what it was, x plus 2. X plus 2. Well, in this case, x is -2, so y equals -2 plus 2. All right, signs are different. You subtract, take the sign of the larger integer, so -2 plus 2, y equals 0. So your ordered pair on this one, x is -2, y is 0, should be -2, 0. And that's your final answer. All right, we are moving right along. Let's see here. This time we're on number 15. All right, number 15, y equals 5x minus 3. And that's just Clara barking because McKaylee's about to come home. She went to Sonic. So just disregard Clara. Y equals 5x minus 3, and y equals -3x plus 13. All right. Again, substitute either equation in for y. When I do that, I'm going to write this as 5x minus 3 equals -3x plus 13. All right, I want my variable to remain positive. So to do that, I'm going to move this -3x by doing the opposite of plus 3x plus 3x. That goes away. On the left side, I get 8x minus 3 equals positive 13. And sorry, that's a bad 3. There we go. All right, start on the side with the variable. Move the number without the variable by doing opposite operation. So plus 3 plus 3. 8x therefore equals 16. Divide by 8, divide by 8. Those 8s go away, and x equals 2. Now that you know what x is, you take that 2 and you plug it in for either equation. So let's go back and see which equation looks easier. I would probably say this first equation looks easier. Y equals 5x minus 3. 5x minus 3. Good. All right, now I plug in my solution for x in for this variable. Y therefore equals 5 times 2 minus 3. That gives me y equals 10 minus 3, so therefore y equals 7. So my ordered pair would therefore be 2, 2, 7. And there's your final answer right there. Once more, those are always x, y ordered pairs. So number 15, 2, 7. All right, just a few more here. We're on 16 now. Number 16, Let's see here. How's number 16 written? Number 16 is y equals x plus 6 and y equals negative 2x minus 12. All right. Start the same as all the other ones. Substitute one of those equations in for y, since you know what y equals. So when I do that, I'll do negative 2x minus 12 equals x plus 7. All right, to keep my variable positive, I'm going to move the 2x. It's a negative 2x, so we're going to do plus 2x plus 2x. Goes away, goes away. Negative 12. And be careful, you have to bring, it's a negative 12, guys, so you have to bring the negative down with you. Don't forget that. That might have tripped some of you up. Hopefully not. Negative 12 equals x plus 2x. Remember that x has a coefficient of 1, so it's 3x plus 6. All right, start on the side of the variable. Move the number without the variable by performing opposite operation. All right, as you can tell, you really have to know your negatives. Keep, switch, change. Easy as that. Negative 18 equals 3x. All right, when you go to solve, you have to get x by itself, divide by 3, divide by 3. You have one negative, therefore you have a negative answer of negative 6. If you have a even amount of negatives, you have a positive answer. So x is negative 6, and you're going to take that and substitute it in for either one of your equations. I'm going to choose this first one right here, y equals x plus 6. All right, so that means y equals, substitute my solution for 6 in for the variable, negative 6 plus 6, signs are different. You subtract, take the sign of the larger. In this case, there is no larger to take the sign of, so y simply equals 0. Ordered pair, negative 6, 0. There's your final answer, always written as an XY ordered pair. All right, second to last one now, number 17. And it is y equals 3x minus 1 and y equals negative 2x plus 9. Start them the same way. Substitute either equation in for y. So I'll rewrite mine as negative 2x plus 9 equals 3x minus 1. Let's see here. I want my variable to remain positive, so do plus 2x plus 2x. Goes away, goes away. What remains is 9 equals 5x minus 1. You start on the side of the variable. You move the number without by doing the opposite. So you are subtracting 1, so the opposite plus 1 plus 1. 10 equals 5x. You gotta get x by itself. You do that through the opposite operation. In this case, that's division. So you get x equals 2. All right, that's what x equals. You still have to solve for your final solution. I'm going to choose the first one. You can choose the second one. I just don't want to deal with the negative. So y equals 3x minus 1. Let me double check to make sure that's correct. Yeah, it is. Y equals 3x minus 1. Substitute your solution for x in for the variable. Y equals 3 times 2 minus 1. So y equals, multiply, 6 minus 1. Y equals 5, which means that my final order solution, which is xy, is 2, 5. And that's your final answer right there, 2, 5 for number 17. All right, last problem now. I know it's flown by. Number 18. All right, number 18. Y equals negative 2x minus 6. Y equals 3x plus 29. 3x plus 29. Okay. Same method as before. Substitute either equation in for your y variable. I'll rewrite mine as 3x plus 29 equals negative 2x minus 6. I always like to make sure that my variable remains positive if I can. So to do that, I'm going to move the negative 2x by adding 2x to both sides of the equation. Those go away. Go back to the left side of the equation, add my like terms, 3x plus 2x. 5x plus 29 equals negative 6. All right, we have to move the number without the variable, so that's going to be this positive 29 on the left side. Minus 29, minus 29. Again, you have to really know your negatives. Keep, switch, change. So 5x equals negative 6 plus negative 29. Signs are the same, so we add, keep the sign. Gives me negative 35. Oops. Divide by 5, divide by 5. X therefore equals negative 7. It's negative because you have one negative, one is odd amount of negatives, negative answer. So now we know what X is. We still have to solve for Y. So let's go back and choose an equation. I'll choose the second one. Y equals 3x plus 29. Substitute your solution in for x. 4x in for x, so y equals 3 times negative 7 plus 29. All right, 3 times negative 7, y equals negative 21 plus 29. Signs are different. When signs are different, you subtract, take the sign of a larger integer. Negative 21 plus 29, y equals positive 8. Always write your final answer as an ordered pair. So your final answer should be negative 7 and positive 8. Because remember, it's always xy. All right, let me make sure that we didn't have any other homework problems. I think that was all the problems I gave you. I have to check Jupyter real quick. Once more, what I said at the beginning of the lesson, to give me your final grade, on the next slide, there's going to be a question, and the answer will be how many problems you got incorrect. So once you tell me how many problems you got incorrect, you'll put that right there, and I'll input your grade. Okay, yeah, 18 was the final problem. And I think that's it. I hope you guys are having a great day and that everyone's doing great and you guys are staying healthy. I miss seeing you guys in class, and I'll look forward to talking to you tomorrow. All right.